Hi guys, it's Floss and this is Floss's Corner. In today's video, I'll be talking about my cross-stitching update for the last month and a half. So that's the second half of May till June. It's going to be a long one, so grab something to drink or even grab a blanket because you might fall asleep, and let's go. Today it's 2nd of July, the Sunday. In my recent community post, I said I would do this video on Saturday, but it did not happen. We ended up doing a lot of things, and towards second half of the day, I just knew filming just could not be possible. We did our normal grocery shopping, and then we went to this Greyhound safety net little stall in a pet store sort of in the local area, and well, the two dogs had a lot of fun, and Rocket ended up picking out by himself this little toy, and he was showing off, kind of keeping it in his mouth the whole time until we went to pay. So that was really cute. And then after that, we also had a dinner booking at 5:30 somewhere else, so I just knew it couldn't happen. And then after that, well, I got JP to put together a bed, and that's the whole day gone. So yep, this filming is taking place today, Sunday. I got my trustworthy iPad, which had the notes, because, you know, a month and a half worth of stuff, I have to write it down, otherwise I cannot remember anything. Even with the notes, I know I'm going to forget a lot of things, but that's how it is. So just want to show you, if you remember last time, I had my nails done the first time and it was really horrible. I did the powder nail thingy, and yeah, the first try was bad, and I kept it for about 3 weeks, and then I did it again. This time it's a lot better. I shaped my nails and it took half an hour, and then the rest of the stuff took maybe an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, so it was really time consuming, but at least I'm not too mad about it. If you look closely, you can easily tell it's not a professional job, but whatever, I think it's good enough for a second try. If you're interested, this is 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝓃𝓮. I think it's a company in Australia, and the colors are Trophy Wife, so that's the, I guess it's like a pinkish red color, and Golden Child. Okay, so haul. Oh, because I mentioned before, this is going to be a long video. I might be doing like a water top up or something, because my throat is definitely going to get dry with all the talking. So if there's some cut scene in between, that's probably why. And as usual, I will provide as many links as I can related to the things I'm showing, may it be some accessories or some shops I got these things from, or the whips I got, like where you could get the project. I might not link some very common ones because you can get them wherever, and because I'm in Australia, the links I use might be not so useful to you, but yeah, it's up to you. I will provide as much information as I can in the description box as normal, and I tend to separate my videos into different chapters, so you can just, I guess, skip if you don't care about something. I will try to divide it up, but if I say things in a very illogical way, it could be hard to, you know, separate one thing to the other. What else do I want to include beforehand? And then I guess let's just talk about haul. So if you've watched my previous video, or previous videos, you would know that I'm in a lot of hobby budget debt. Because it's in July now, I'm still $58 in debt, and August it will be $8 in debt technically, but I think I'm just going to say my hobby budget will be 0 in August, so I will have $50 in September. I'm just gonna ignore the $8 just so it's easier to keep track. But I did go to this stitching retreat end of May. I think it's the second time Victoria has had a stitching retreat, and it's in Shepparton. It's like a rural town in Victoria. And I bought a bunch of stuff, and I've decided beforehand that whatever I purchased during the stitching retreat would not be counted towards the hobby budget, because it doesn't happen very often and it's all about having fun. So I did buy things, and I made a whole video about the stitching retreat. It's not in a lot of details, but it sort of tells you what went on, what I got in more detail. So I think I might have mentioned how much everything costs, so I'm not gonna say too much in this video. I'll just show you what I got, and if you're interested, just go to the video link. I think, yeah, I'll just link it up there if I remember. So first thing first, I got 2 project bags. The person that made these really pretty project bags is called Taryn, and her little shop is 𝐶𝐶 Handmaids, and I've got her to make scroll bar covers and scroll bar bags before, so I know her. This is my favorite. So pretty, this color. And I got this bag as well. This one you can't see through, and this bit is actually sparkly. And to go with it, so I actually put everything I got in this bag, because the previous bag I showed you had a whip already, and this one is still empty. So I also got this pouch to go with this one. It's the same fabric. Very pretty. And if you hear some noises, I've got aircon on. It's really cold. Oh, it's been really cold in Melbourne because we're having winter here, so hopefully I can get rid of the noise post-edit, but no promises. Okay, and then after that I got 3 pieces of fabric. What's this one called? This one's cornflower, even weave 28 count. The size is 26 by 17 inch. And there's a little charm thingy with it. And this one is Bushfire Sunset. It's actually dyed by, does it have it? What is it called? Paddock Lane Designs. It's an Australian dyer. And I think the cornflower is daisy chain, so whoopsie daisy. So this one, I'll be using it for Lovers in Santorini by 𝐶𝐶 Design. Soda Stitch Design? And I bought a sparkly one as well. It's called Tropical Ocean 28 count opalescent. Can you see the sparkle? How big is it? The fat corner. And I got these excess fabric holder thingo. They work okay, but I don't know. Oh, so this bag has 8, I think. So I'm using 3 somewhere. I don't know how well they hold up with like repeated use, but for now they're still doing alright. And also I got a 𝐬𝐻 hoop. This one is the 8mm one, and the diameter is 22 centimeter. And then one person there gave me a free 𝐬𝐻 plastic hoop. I've got the normal colored one. This is an okay size for Dimensions Gold Petites. So this is the same size as number 2. 16.5 by 14.5 centimeters. So this one's blue. And also I got 2 needle minders and a pair of scissors. This is like a fluorescent rainbowish color. So there is cherry blossom, so sakura, and this one will be for JP. So that's like a 20-side dice dragon needle minder. And for this one, you get this little zipper pull in your goodie bag this year, so I put this on this project bag. So that's what I got during the retreat. And after that, I also bought this light from Aldi. I can't quite remember, but I think it's about $20. So it's just a clamp-on light, and you can just plug it in. So it's not the USB charging one. And it has 3 different lights, so you can get warm, daylight, or cold, or cool light. And you can choose how bright you want, so there are 3 settings as well. If you've watched, I think this would have been the 𝐕𝐴 era, and when I talk about my stitching corner with the 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝓃𝓾𝓫 stands and the quantum frames, I had this clamp-on light already. It's bright enough, but it doesn't really have like a lamp shade, so there is a bit of light going into your eyes, and if you use that light for a little bit longer, your eyes get really painful. This one, I've used it the past week. I think it's not as bright as the other one, maybe slightly dimmer, but because it goes down and it doesn't hurt my eyes, so I think I prefer this one more. So JP is going to use the other one instead, and I'm gonna keep this. I'll just put this aside. Okay, and I think I've included everything I've written here. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is my whips, and this is already more than 10 minutes in. So the last month and a half, I calculated it was about 50 days since I made the video, and I've stitched 29 days, so just over half of the time. The reason being, we had quite a few social events on the weekend, and because we just, you know, JP and I are just normal full-timers, so if we do want to relax, we tend to rely heavily on the weekend, but a lot of the time, yeah, we have to see friends and whatever, so there are quite a few weekends I didn't get any stitching done, and also we are kind of splitting our hobby time into me cross-stitching and him painting his miniatures and also gaming together, so that divided up a lot of the free times we got. Also, I know you guys don't care, but recently I finally picked up working out again, so I won't say I'm doing it every day, but at least 4 days a week. And after I come back from work, I will do a workout. It's about 20 to 30 minutes. It sounds like it doesn't take a lot of time, but you gotta wind down a little bit, get changed, do the workout, wind down again, have a shower. This whole thing might be, you know, an hour. So that definitely has an impact on stitching time too. So I think in terms of a month and a half, I didn't do a lot, but just for video content, I think I've done enough to show you. Yeah, there's no point dwelling on more nonsense, so let's just show. On my notes, the first thing I wrote was Paris in flowers. So just after I made the last cross-stitching update video mid-May, I started stitching this one again. So that's the first whip I picked up. This is a 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝓃𝓏 kit. And this is what it looks like. They also have one with the 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝓃𝓏 there, and I think it's probably slightly bigger, I'm not quite sure, but this one is just with the Eiffel Tower. So this is a series of cross stitch I want to do to, I guess, how do I say this, to record all the countries JP and I have traveled together. So this will be Paris. We visited Paris during our, it's not too short, short-ish honeymoon, like 10 days in Europe. This one stitched on 18 count 2/1. It doesn't have anything too fancy, just cross stitches and back stitches. And the size is 47 by 34 centimeters or 18.5 by 13.33 inches. And this particular kit was purchased by my friend as my maybe 29th birthday? 29th or 30th? I think it's 29th. So yeah, it's a gift. And I am actually here, so second page. Because it's been a while, I don't remember how much I stitched. I normally will put like a comparison photo up, so you can decide how much I've done. That's that. So for Paris in flowers, I stitched for 6 days. This is a big one. So this is where I'm up to. I think. Yeah, I can't quite say for sure, but I think there are some bits in another page, so first page. And I'll put comparison comparison photo somewhere, maybe there. Yeah, so right now the strategy, I'm pretty sure, is to stitch some boring, like one colored area sort of here, and I think it's sky and clouds, and then go into this greenish, more colorful area here. I actually loaded this project in Markup RXP. I got JP to use his very fancy and powerful scanner at work to scan all 8 pages, and I loaded it into Markup RXP. It won't tell me which color when I collect the symbol, but at least it tracks. It tracks fairly okay. So yeah, once I finish the second page, I will just use Markup RXP to stitch it, and hopefully the progress will be faster. But right now, I'm just using GoodNotes. So I took a picture of the chart, loaded it into GoodNotes, and sort of eyeballing and marking it at the same time. Is there something else I can tell you? Did I write anything down? Oh yeah, so previously I was using the large Q-snap, so I think it was 11 by 17 or 14 by 17, maybe 11 by 17, and because it was really big to hold, I would always rely on using the table stand, which I don't like using because then I can't sit on my couch. I have to sit at the dining table. And then I decided enough is enough. Because of the inconvenience of using the table stand, I didn't want to stitch this a lot. So I ended up using just the normal, I guess, this size 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝓃𝓾 plastic hoop. And I'll use that fabric holding silicone thingo to hold the excess fabric and stitch it. So yeah, that means I can get to it a bit more conveniently. So I should be stitching this more. Pretty sure I still quite enjoy this because yeah, even though I'm in an area that's quite blocky, I can still go into other areas to break the monotonousness up with, like, I don't know, different colors of green or different colors of something else. So that's nice. And then the next thing I'm going to show you is apparently called Funny Coffee. I purchased the PDF chart on my bobbin, and I think it's by 𝐼𝐸𝐸_Designs. The preview will be here. And did I want to say anything? Oh yeah, I'll just show you what it looks like now. This is the one I ended up stitching during the retreat. So I made a lot of progress because, you know, in a stitching retreat, either you talk a lot or you stitch a lot, or a bit of both if you're very good with your time. So that's my progress. And obviously there'll be a comparison photo. I think I'm at a great point with this project. Now, this one is a gift. I'm hoping once I finish it, I can gift it to a cafe JP and I tends to go like on a weekly basis. It's a small family-run cafe. They're really, really nice. I think their background is like Vietnamese, Cantonese, Chinese, sort of Asian family. And they have a lot of sort of Studio Ghibli decors and all that. So I thought this one would be really nice in the shop. The plan is to finish this by Christmas, and I also want to add their cafe logo, or I'll try to imitate the logo down here, and they can have somewhere to display it, either on the wall or maybe where you can see their cakes and whatnot, and just sort of make it stand there to brighten up the shop a little bit. So with this one, right now I'm at 48.7% just on cross stitches. This is the first PDF file sort of projects that I have done with different strands of backstitching. So a lot of the rim on the cup was done with 2 strands of black, and some bit with 1 strand. And the cup is completely done. So I did that at Stitching Retreat, and then I moved on to other things. So I just want to mention, at the Stitching Retreat, I've had people coming over to talk to me, but because I was awkward, and like obviously I was not rude or anything, but because my brain was sort of working overtime, when they were trying to ask me something, all I was focused on was how to answer the question. And later on, after I calmed down, I thought, maybe they wanted me to ask them something too to get the conversation going, but at the time I just couldn't think of it. I just didn't want to say something stupid. So yeah, I just didn't have enough brain cells to think, you know, that's back and forth in a conversation. So after I answered the question, it just walked away. And there was one lady that said she thought I was stitching a chicken. So I think that's before I backstitched a lot of the cup. So she thought this red bit was a chicken head and then this chicken body. So I thought that was funny. Yeah, so the other half of it would be a lot of spirits. I think there will still be a lot of backstitching, but it's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot more colors. Now that I've got the blocky cup out of the way, and it's looking like I should be able to finish it before Christmas. It's just, it will be a bit tricky to finish, like fully finish it. Oh, I forgot to say, the fabric I used was 28 count even weave. It's called Rustique. It's printed, see? This side has nothing, this side has the pattern, if you can see. It's like mottled, sort of. It's by 𝐿𝐿 in Australia. I think it's a fat quarter. So I'm stitching it 2 over 2. And then the next one I did. So at the Stitching Retreat, well, before the Stitching Retreat actually, Laura from 𝐼𝐶𝐷𝐵𝐵𝐷𝐼𝐶 and I have decided to start this winter cabin at the retreat. This is the one. So this winter cabin by Dimensions Gold collection. And I don't think I need to tell you the story of why we decided to do it, because I've mentioned it before, but it's very rare that we have something in common in our collection, so we just decided to do it. And I stitched some during the retreat, and then I continued stitching after the retreat for a few days. So with this one, I stitched 6 days. So yeah, we both started this at the retreat on the first day. We also have this very simple hashtag on Instagram if you're interested in joining. It's just 𝐷imensions_𝐷imensions_cabin_cell. Okay, so this one is stitched on 16 count blue Aida. It's their typical very stiff material. So I'm pretty sure Laura is ahead of me right now. So I started in the middle and sort of worked my way up most of the time, but also extended that way and downwards. And this is the antlers, the reindeer's antlers. Laura sort of went downwards, so she finished the 2 or 3 reindeers, and I just did more on the cabin. My goal is to eventually hit some half stitches, because I do miss making or stitching half stitches. I haven't done it for a long time. And I think she already hit her goal, so she finished the deer, and she's hoping to finish some surrounding stitches so she can backstitch the deers. So with this one, I did the same thing, not the same thing, but I got JP to scan it again at work, and I loaded the chart into Markup RXP and sort of tracked it digitally. So I can say with just cross stitches, I'm at 3.6%. The only thing is, because Dimensions Gold especially has a lot of back stitching and it's on the same chart, so a lot of the symbols were partially obscured by the back stitching, and the software does not recognize them as the same symbols. So a lot of the time I have to manually track the ones that are covered. But that's okay, it's still, I think, faster than just eyeballing. But yeah, I'm happy to continue stitching this one and hopefully go more ahead than Laura. But yeah, my cabin has windows, lit up windows, whereas Laura's hasn't even got the cabin yet. She did say there's a lot of blue, so I'm hoping to maybe do some blue, because it's unimaginable if that's all you have left and you have to do like thousands and thousands of blue stitches. That would be driving me crazy. Pop everything in the bag. Okay, this is when I should have some water. And I missed this single page. Okie dokie. The next thing I worked on is Coffee Break by Designworks. This is on 14 count eater. It's got 12 different coffees, the American versions obviously. And I am here now. So generally the plan is when I do stitch it, I finish one coffee in the month. So that's where I'm up to. I have to say this Americano looks pretty good. The next one is cafe latte, but or caf latte, because cafe, but it's double F. When you see, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm just seeing a little white. So that's going to be kind of boring. But yeah, there's not that much to say about it. Hopefully this one wouldn't take too long, but it does take a lot of space. So with these ones, I always feel like I'm stitching on it for so long and then it just doesn't get done. So I've found out that with bigger projects, I have a bit more understanding in terms of how far I can get and how long it will take me. But with the small ones, I always overestimate how fast I can be and how long it will take. I thought, that thing is so small, it will take me 3 days. And then 2 weeks later, I'm still on it. So just maybe that's probably also why I don't like small projects. And this is like 12 small projects in one. So every month when I need to finish one, I'm just on it constantly and it just doesn't get done. What else did I write? Yeah, so with this one, I was working on it consistently for 8 days and it still wasn't done. So I was like, oh, stuff this, I need to work on something else. So I worked on the next one I'm going to show you, or the next, maybe 2 things? Maybe 1, I don't know. The next thing I'm going to show you. And then I decided to come back to this coffee break and finish it off. That just goes to show, yeah. I mean, it's nice when I finish it, but oh my gosh. And with the coffee break, my plan is to finish it this year too. I mean, I've only got 4 left. And I still have 12 months. 12 months. 6 months. So I can cut myself some slack. 2 months. Or maybe 1 month, because I think December will be busy. So yeah, hopefully I can get this done. And this will be for me. I will display it somewhere in the kitchen, around the coffee station area. And I stitched this coffee break at the stitching retreat too. Yeah, some people were asking me about it, and there was one person that said she bought it for, and she decided to stitch it for her daughter, because her daughter is about to open up a cafe. Yeah, I think so. I can't quite remember her name though. But yeah, that's what she said. And then the next thing I stitched was Bunnies. So it's not a good name for the pattern, but it's also a PDF pattern I got on Etsy, and the designer just called it Bunnies. It's like a bunny wreath sort of thing. This one is, I'll just put a preview somewhere. This one is a gift too for the person that designed the little cartoon logo for me and JP, and she has two bunnies, so the bunnies on this pattern kind of look like hers, so I thought it would be pretty cute once I finish and give it to her, and she would really appreciate it, I reckon. So this one is stitched on 16 count Aida. It's a hand-dyed fabric by Paddock Lane Designs again. It's called Sky Blue. You might not be able to see the blue very well because my actual wall is like a light blue. I don't know whether you would have noticed this. So yeah, that's where I'm up to. I don't think I stitched that much, to be honest. I mean, you would be able to tell from the comparison, but I don't think I stitched much. I know I might have extended the wreath a bit that way, and then because the wreath itself has so much confetti, I get fed up because you really don't make much progress because the colors go everywhere. And then I just ended up stitching on the bunny itself for a little bit. So I only stitched this one for 4 days. And this is the one I stitched in between finishing the Americano square. Ooh, the car. The Americano square on coffee break. So it's looking okay. Right now it's at 28.6%. But yeah, at the time I was hoping to get to 30%. And then there wasn't much time left to stitch other things. And I did want to stitch other things, so I ended up putting this one away and moved on. So with the PDF file for this, I use Markup RXP again, but I don't think the file itself is Markup RXP compatible because it's not recognizing things very well. That's that. And the next thing is Thistle, ancient Thistle scissor cape. I just call it Thistle fob. And if you don't remember what it looks like, this is the preview. It has enough stuff to finish this. So it has that, what do you call it? A little extra bit to go onto your scissors, and enough thread to make this tassel as well. And if you have watched my previous videos, you would know, oh boy, I hated this. Even though it was so small, it took me months and months, and it was still not done, but it's done. It's finally done. This one I got secondhand as a gift. That's why there's this rusty needle mark, because the needle was embedded in there and I just chucked it because it was broken, I think. I had a lot of trouble getting the colors right for the borders. This combination that I ended up with is not what the chart called for, but I just stuck with it because I took it out twice and I still got it wrong, so I was like, stuff this, I'm not changing it again. With a small chart like this, there's no number for your thread. It's all about the descriptions of the colors, and I hate descriptions because English is my second language. I don't get certain concepts as well as I should, and I get colors wrong. So there's like, oh, I need to get the what do they, so they say dark dull purple, pale dull purple, dark bright purple, and pale bright purple. I can't quite differentiate them in my head sometimes. So I just went with this color combination. Oh yeah. So it's kind of the other way around. The actual chart should have the lighter purple on the inside border, but I did it on the outside. That's the difference. And I stitched this one for 2 days, and the last day I decided to make that tassel anyway. I think the color is different. I'm not quite sure. And if you hear some wet noise, my big boy Rex is grooming himself. He's like there. So this is the tassel. I think I did a better job than this because the way it wraps around in the preview, it's a bit more uneven, whereas I try to make mine somewhat even. What do you think? So yeah, the rest of the stuff is just trying to finish it, and JP said if I don't want to keep it, he can use it for something. He'll put it on whatever. I'll chuck it back in this little pouch. And I did not mark the chart, actually. I just eyeballed it. It's a pretty easy chart. I don't know why I just couldn't get it done until now. Oh my god, Rex. Rex? That's enough, mate. Good boy. Yeah. And then... oh, nah, he is still grooming. The next thing I'm going to show you is the countryside. I have not touched the countryside for a while. I want to say at least 2 months. And the reason being, anything not related to stitching, I will try to avoid for as long as I can. And whenever I take this project down to show you the progress, I always have to put it back up. So this process of putting it back up really annoys me, so I keep trying to avoid it. Because the setup is the quantum frame sits on the Lowry stand and the, I guess like a frame adapter, and then I have to put the light on, and then I have to put the iPad holder on. And I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do it. Anyway, this month I did it. I'll show you the preview, because some of you might not even know since I haven't stitched it for so long. This one is the Countryside by, what does it say? Stitch DMC. I purchased this big ass kit on Amazon without knowing anything really. I didn't realize how big it was gonna be. It's 14 count, and I think the size is 352 by 260 or something like that. And I haven't even finished the first, so the chart has 18 pages, but I have not even finished the first row of 6 yet. And that's my goal, to finish the first row of 6 pages first before I put it away and swap it with something else. Unfortunately, I swapped to the countryside this week, but I only stitched 3 days, including yesterday, the Saturday. Yeah, this week work was pretty bad. It was very messy, so a couple of days I got home really late and just was so buggered. Did not stitch. Had nothing to do with gaming this week. But yeah, I'll show you what it looks like. Oh my gosh. So this is what it looks like. I did a little bit down here, you could not see. But overall, for this week, I was just stitching this side. I was hoping to finish it more so I could roll it up, because this 𝐸𝐸𝐸 in the kit is so soft. It ends up sort of unraveling itself on here, whereas the normal stiff 𝐸𝐸𝐸 tends to hold up quite well, just because it gets more scratchy and it has more resistance against this bar thingo. Anyway, so I'll just do a comparison. I really don't know how much I stitched in 3 days, or maybe I should do it this way, because yeah, this side, I only stitched on this side. I did a lot of the random colors here. Then I have sort of blocks of white left there. What else I can tell you? There's not that much to say. Yeah, it's just, it's not as enjoyable as some of the other projects, because this one is full coverage, but it also has back stitching, and the back stitching on the chart is quite thick, so it's sort of indicating in very thick lines, and a lot of symbols are covered by that black line. So sometimes you have to guess, is this symbol that or that? And it gets really annoying. I'm hoping to finish the 6 pages as well. I'm hoping to finish the 6 pages and then move on to mark up RXP as well with scanning and all that. And yeah, can't wait. Because eyeballing is so painful, especially when you just miss 1 or 2 symbols in the row and you have to come back and do it. Oh my god, I can't remember how many times I've mentioned this painstaking process. But yeah, it does look quite nice from afar. So I don't know whether it needs back stitching. I'm sure it'll look more defined, so we'll see. And yes, I am aware there's a lot of excess fabric here, but not here. It's because I was supposed to start there, like 10 stitches away from this line, but I forgot about it. I think framers will still be able to use that, because it's still more than 2 centimeters, so about 1 inch, maybe slightly more. And that's the last thing I stitched. Okay. And then we can go to plans. And I am getting close to 1 hour at this point. Water time again. Okay. This will be the first time I say it, because I have never got into like this seasonal stitching thing. Some people like to stitch for different festivals, but I don't tend to. I prefer not to copy what other people do. Although I get it, some people get really excited being part of this group. So this group likes to stitch seasonal things and you just want to join that bandwagon, it's fine. With me, I just want to do what I want to do. Oh, hello. So it just so happens that at this stage I do have a Christmas project, and Aussies like to do Christmas in July because it's our winter time, and when it's the actual Christmas it's very hot. So this month I'm going to stitch 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝓃𝓮. I don't think this has showed up since my very first video. So a lot of you probably wouldn't have known that I've got this. It is kind of like a freebie from someone I purchased from on Aussie Cross Stitch Stash Unload Facebook group. And that's where I normally purchase a lot of things if I do purchase. Yeah, I tend to purchase things secondhand. And with this one, I already finished one. What is it called? Reindeer and Friends or something. It's called Mouse and Reindeer. So I finished that one fully. And still on bunny list. So hopefully I can finish this month, but it's another small project. And you know me with small projects, I don't know how long it will take. So I think I'll be able to finish it, but who knows. This one actually asked for 3/1 on 14 count 𝐸𝐷. And because it's secondhand, even though I think the person didn't really open it or didn't start on it, I feel like there was not enough threads. Especially, I'm pretty sure this one asked for a 𝓕𝓃, but there's no 𝓕𝓃 in this, so I'll have to buy one eventually. And I think I need to get some other color. I can't quite remember. Yeah, it's been a while since I last stitched on this. So 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝓃 will definitely get some love for Christmas in July. And the next thing I'm going to show you, it's a bit sad. I have not, maybe I've talked about once, I can't quite remember, but I have not shown this a lot on this channel. This is a 𝐿𝐵𝐷𝐃 by 𝐿𝐵𝐷𝐃 Samplers. It's quite big, and it's the only greyhound project I've got. So I started this because JP and I had a girl called Amy, and she passed away. And just before, maybe a month before she passed away, or maybe a few weeks, I started this. So this kind of meant a lot to me. And then not long after I started this, I realized I actually didn't like it, especially after I finished the outline of the greyhound. But because it has meaning behind it, I couldn't say no to it, so I kept hanging on to it, and taking it out from time to time, and kind of really pushing myself to stitch on it. I mean, it's even on like a really nice 32 count hand dyed fabric. I don't know, I just didn't like it. And if you've watched my video of coming back from the framers, so I took a friend's painting of Amy and Victorian elegance to the framers to get them framed, and now the painting's framed and hung up just at the door on the wall. It's the first thing you'll see when you walk in the door, and it's also something you'll walk past when you, well, when we go up to the bedroom. Now I feel like I have more reasons to say goodbye to this project, just because I've got something of Amy on the wall now. I don't feel as guilty putting a stop to this, putting me out of my misery, really. And yeah, I think I'm officially putting this project in UFO, so unfinished project. Maybe at one point I'll want to pick it up again, but I doubt it. So that's mainly the reason why I want to stop it. There's also the reason, well, there's also a reason that I completely stitched here, like the wrong way around. So, oh, maybe not the whole thing, just a big part of it. So yeah, that didn't help either. I just keep thinking, oh damn, I've made so much mistakes on this and I don't like it. So I'm going to officially say goodbye to this project. And after that and the finish of Thistle fob, I now have 8 whips, which means I have 2 more slots if I want to have some new starts. So this one can be put away finally. And for July, I want to continue making progress on Winter Cabin, also the Funny Coffee, and what else did I write? And the Countryside. I'm going to continue working on it, maybe for the next week or so on the Countryside, and then decide which one I want to work on. Probably Funny Coffee, I'd say. Yeah, so hopefully make more progress on those. And if I do have time again, I want to stitch on Paris in Flowers and maybe Coffee Break. At least I can get the next coffee started a little bit so I can finish in the next month a bit quicker. Bunnies, I'll just put it on hold this month, I reckon. I don't think I have enough time to stitch so many projects. Because generally for me, if I stitch on a whip, I tend to go monotonous until I want to move on. I know a lot of people do very well doing or working on multiple projects in a day. I can't be bothered. It's the principle of taking it out, putting it back, loading on the hoop and all the things I have to do before I can stitch. I want to avoid it as much as I can. So yeah, that's the plan. And last video I did mention JP said he was gonna start learning cross stitch blah 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 soon, and no, it did not happen. And he's laughing there because he's painting on the dining table. I'm sure he feels bad because he should. Stop laughing. And in his defense, we did have social stuff, and he was trying hard to finish painting some of his miniatures. But I think a lot of the time guys tend to make empty promises to please you, subconsciously or whatever, and I don't know whether they meant it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, everything's there. Hopefully, at least, like the very least, we'll get the threads sorted. The threads aren't even sorted yet. So yeah, we'll see. And for filming, so normally I want to do these cross stitch update like on a monthly basis, but July might be a bit tricky because I'm going back to China the end of July, and I don't know whether I'll be able to film aside from preparing, packing, and the week before I need to go, that weekend, I still need to go out to thing with my friends. Well, we'll see. If I can't manage to squeeze one in, then I'll have to do one after I come back. So that will be mid-August. Yeah, I don't know at this stage. I think I'll be able to do a bit of stitching there, but a lot of the time it will just be, you know, going shopping, dining out, maybe seeing some people, stuff like that. I'm only there for 12 days, about there. And I'll see how I go. Maybe I'll be able to do some filming there too, but it will be a bit awkward when my parents are there. Because they don't quite, they get the filming thing, because, you know, TikTok is so popular in China, but I don't know whether they will, no, they definitely won't have the same mindset as me, so they probably won't quite understand how I like to share things in my video, how I show my face and tell what's going on in life. And I don't want to delve too deep into what I share in the videos because they will never understand. So I don't know how that's gonna pan out. We'll see. Or at least maybe I'll show like parts of my city. I'm from a relatively small city. It's a coastal city in northeast. It's in Liaoning province. It's a city called 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝔃𝓽𝓾. Well, I think it used to be like a very popular place to go to for holidays in summer, but now with global warming it's quite hot too, but still not as hot as some of the other cities. So yeah, it's been 4.5 years since I last went back. Almost 4.5. Last time I went was 2019 in April. So when I changed job, and I had like 2 weeks off, so my parents forced me to go, so I went back. And now thinking back, it was quite lucky that I eventually decided to go, because who would have known that there would be pandemics and all that. So yeah, we'll see what happens then. Oops, editing flaws here. I completely forgot to ask you a question in this video. So if you want, in the comment section, please tell me what makes you a unique stitcher in your opinion compared to others. I'd love to read your answers. And in terms of personal or life update, so obviously you can see there's the Victorian elegance up there, and I was worried before whether it was too high up and when I film you won't be able to see, but hey, it's not bad. Yeah, it looks quite nice, just something to brighten up the video up there. And I also had, so I did a specialist review, I want to say start of June. So I have polycystic kidney disease. If you don't know what it is, it's when you have a lot of cysts on your kidneys, and I don't know what could trigger it, but for me it's 100% genetics. So a lot of my mom's family members have these problems. It doesn't really cause any trouble unless your cysts have some weird growth, like cancerous growth, which is very rare in my opinion. But because they take up space and they will keep growing, and eventually when I get older, my kidneys won't function as well as a normal person's, and eventually I'll be faced with, you know, kidney failures and whatnot. But that's decades down the track. Right now it's more about keeping an eye on it, and I'm supposed to have these like specialist review. Oh, I'm supposed to have this like ultrasound, so renal ultrasound once a year, and see a urologist once a year, just based on the results after the ultrasound, to see the sizes, whether it's changed, the texture has changed, and all that. So after I was diagnosed properly, was it? This was the second review. 2020. I think so, yeah, second review. I guess the tricky thing with my situation is on the right kidney there is one cyst that's quite large. I think it's probably the 5 centimeter, roughly there, 5 point something, and that cyst is a complex cyst as well. So the wall of the cyst has calcification, so it has some kind of thickness to it, and they just need to determine whether it's cancerous or malignant or something, which it's not, because this time it hasn't really grown. So the specialist just said still to keep an eye on it, nothing's really changed. So that was good news. And I don't know whether I want to do it annually, to be honest, because it's quite annoying, especially your ultrasound referral only lasts for a year. If you miss it, you have to get a new one and then book an appointment. And bloody hell, seeing specialists, it's the worst. It depends on how urgent. I mean, luckily my situation is not urgent, it's just a review. But then you have to worry about the specialist referral because, you know, it's renewed annually as well. And then you need to book an appointment. Sometimes the appointment time is not what you'd like, and they tend to be bloody taking a lot of time, and you just have to sit there and wait. Anyway, I ended up wasting a lot of time waiting when I first got diagnosed with a lot of things. 2020 was not a good year for me. Anyway, yeah. And then I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it before, in the last few videos, I had this neck pain. It started either start of March or end of Feb, and it was quite bad to begin with, and I went to see a physiotherapist and it didn't get better at all. It probably got worse before I went back to the baseline pain. And then I decided to see a chiro, and that helped. So after that, the pain went away, but then not long after it came back again, and that's when I determined it was probably my pillow. So I went to see the chiro again, and the pain went away again, and this time only after 2 weeks it came back. So I decided to not see the chiro again because I feel like they only temporarily make the situation better, but eventually you kind of rely on it, and I don't want to do that. So I changed my pillow, and it was interesting because we went to the same place we bought the last pillow, and ended up buying the same pillow from last time. I mean, it's working okay, and the shop assistant actually gave some good tips. So now my neck is just stiff most of the time, and I have to do, you know, the relaxation sort of exercise quite a lot, and it clicks a lot as well. So I possibly should see a physio again. At least then I'll know what kind of exercise I should do, or official exercise I should do to make the situation better. But right now my neck is stagnant, it's just stiff. It tends to get stiff in most situations, especially at work. I have to sort of not crack my neck, but make my neck crack doing this kind of rolling motion quite often. I blame aging. I think it's because I've found when I hit 25, I started having problems, and then now that I've hit 30, I started having more problems, so it's just aging. And JP ended up going to a physio because his back was completely locked up and he was in a lot of pain, and now he has to do back exercises all the time, because the physio said otherwise this lock-up situation would happen again and again and again. Yeah, we have agreed that, you know, aging sucks, and we just have to get used to the body saying more and more. What else do I want to tell you? Then in terms of doggies, so the big one you saw before had a growth on, not quite abdomen, but sort of in between, sort of on a rib, let's say on a rib. It was kind of nasty looking, and I was hoping it would not be, you know, like cancer. We were hoping it would go away after quite, let's say 3 days, but after a week it was still there, so we ended up taking Rex to the vet, and the vet tested. It was all good. What's the thing called? Hello? What's Rex's thing called?
What's what?
Rex's growth.
Oh, hematoma. Cystoma. I was put it again.
No one knows what it's called, but it's a good thing. It's
not cancer.
It's kind of a cancer, but not a bad one. It will just resolve by benign. It will resolve by itself, given time. And now it's already gone down. At one point it was red, aggressive, nasty looking. And then not long after we took Rex to the vet, Rocket started limping. And if you know us from a couple years ago when we started making video, Amy was limping, and that's how she started, and then it progressively got worse, and then we took her to the vet, and turns out she had cancer. So boy, I was like, oh my god, is it possible that Rocket got cancer too? So it wasn't getting better after a few days, and we ended up taking Rocket to the vet, like maybe 1 week after we took Rex to the vet. So yeah, it's all good. So I think he had a sore toe, and now he's getting much better and he can walk properly. So that's good. Then
Can you make him sit down?
if you can't tell, Rex is obsessed with JP. It's his favorite person ever. Yeah, so this following month before I'm going, I need to get a lot of stuff. I can see you.
Oh, okay. No, sit down. Take him to the other room.
Block.
Sorry, right. Hello, everybody. Come on, Rex.
So if you have Asian friends, or if you're Asian yourself, you would know that if you're going back, normally you need to bring a lot of gifts. It's pretty bad. It's a cultural thing, and you kind of have to do it because if you don't, people will consider you rude. So then my parents give me a list, all these things I have to buy, just because. So I need to get a start on that, and I'm also buying them some gifts too. I'm not sure whether it's appropriate to say it, but a lot of Asian people also are obsessed with luxury goods, and my parents are the same. And it is much cheaper to get it here than in China because China's tax is horrific, and they don't get a lot of the new styles either. So I have to buy some stuff for them too and bring them back. I won't say too much on it. I don't know, if you're interested on a particular like Asian thingo, ask me questions in the description. in the comment section or something. I don't really mind. I'm rarely offended. So yeah, if you're wondering about something, you can ask me. I think that's pretty much it. Is there something I want to say? And yeah, in terms of like working out situation, I kept saying I need to lose weight, I need to lose weight. And I was really the heaviest I've ever been. I was more than 62 kilo, pretty much 63. And I know in a lot of people's minds, oh, that's perfectly healthy or whatever. It definitely has an influence from like peer pressure or the beauty standards, whatever you want to call it. But you have to admit that like Asians tend to have smaller bone frames, so you can't have the same standard in terms of judging someone's figure. Anyway, and I was quite upset with the weight gain, and I kept saying I wanted to do something about it. I never really did until maybe a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. I was like, enough is enough, I really need to do something. So I almost stopped snacking at night. I was like eating chips and whatever after work until like, 10 o'clock, 10:30. So I kind of stopped that, unless it's like a cheat day once in a while. And if I did feel snacky, I would have like a glass of warm milk or some nuts or something. And also, yeah, I was semi-regularly doing workouts most nights, like 4 days a week, 4 to 5 days, depending on how busy or how lazy I feel. I can feel a change. I think, especially around the abdominal area, it's not as like puffy, like wide. So things start getting tightened a little bit, and I lost about a kilo. I'm telling you this not because I need you to lose weight too. You do whatever you want, but I'm just telling you, a lot of the time, it's really up to you whether you want to do something about a problem you have. It really takes a while before you decide to action on it. And just, I don't know, now I feel quite good. Because I can see the changes in me, so I feel more satisfied with myself. I feel like I'm making progress. I'm making an effort. And I do feel more hopeful and confident as well. So that's like a positive thing. So I'm actually not sure why I'm telling you this, but I guess if you have a problem with something, just know that be patient with it. Eventually you come to a point where you really want to action on it and slowly solve it. Just give it time, just be patient. And yeah, when you put in some effort, there will be some good results, hopefully. So yeah, hopefully I can keep up with it, and just I guess go home to my parents in a good state. And that's like an Asian thing too. They always comment on your figure. You can't escape it. Oh, what's going on? Anyway, I think that's a cue for me to stop filming because the dogs are getting jittery. Rocker's looking at Rex because he looks like he's about to whine, which he just did. And also tonight I need to cook. So I better get a start on that too. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. I told you it's gonna be a long ass video, and it is. And tonight I need to get it edited as well, and I don't know how long that will take, but I will really try to complete it tonight and make sure the video is out by tomorrow, which will be Sunday in America, I think. That's it. I will see you when I see you, and I hope you stitch plenty, not like me. And I will see you in another video. Bye!
Yeah, Rocket. And then Rex. Oh, Rex! He was just wanting to walk around and be happy. Oh, Rocket wants to be happy too. Why can't we all have happiness?
Happiness!
Oh, what? Aren't we happy?